Saturday showdown. D+ Kia versus BNK Fear X.
Game at the end of the day, we're saying it, there needs to be more from the rest of the team, and not just in play but in picks as well, being able to offer him more support. It's fine to have Teddy be the focus point in the main carry. That's what he's been during that hot streak, but needs some more backing from the rest of the team.
Absolutely does. And, you know, if he can have even 66% of what he did in Game 1, I think, you know, as long as the rest of the team is there to back him up, there's still a chance for them in this series. We know that QMDRX is praying for Bo to now win 2 games in a row, because that's the only way that they stay out of Rise Group, QMDRX that is.
What about a bit more than a 66% chance? Like a 68? That's a little bit higher.
Yeah, it is a little bit higher.
Yeah. Okay, bans have come out pretty quickly in this situation. We do see the Lee Sin, Varus, Karma being banned again, the Nocturne, Lucian left open. They're not going to go for the Lucian, they're opting to go for the Cassiopeia, which is a pick that does make playing Lucian a little bit troublesome.
I would take the Lucian, to be honest.
A lot of teams would, but they're not even going to... They're looking at potentially the Ashe Seraphine. I think D+ kind of saying, hey, we don't think we can necessarily deal with the Cassiopeia with a short-range AD carry. It just makes a harder team fight. The Miasma, the Hanj and Brion just go Lucian Milio here. We saw it in the earlier series, getting a lot of early momentum, even though it didn't pan out over the course of the game. Or do they go in a different direction? Because you are playing into likely Ashe Seraphine Xin Zhao, and they opt to go for picking up the topside pick. So the Vi going to make it a little bit tricky for the Ashe to play around. The Jace securing that and knowing that you can ban away potential counters.
Yeah, because they have to take Seraphine.
Yeah, so probably the ban for Hanj and Brion is going to be like Jace. Sorry, not Jace. They're playing Jace. Yorick and Sion, I would imagine. And then for D+, I would probably ban away the Lucian. Makes a lot of sense. Maybe you're concerned about... To be honest, Lucian's kind of the main one. We've seen Corki Nami into it.
We've seen MF as well, but there's no Nautilus. So the MF Nautilus has been kind of the duo for MF. It's not the only MF lane you can play. They're going to ban Pyke, so they say, we want to keep our Ashe Seraphine as safe as possible.
Yeah, concerned about like the Mel Pyke that we've seen, or like Ziggs Pyke, so getting rid of that. Sion comes in as a first ban, no surprise there. That's the question. Will it just be the Lucian? It is. So, taking away a lot of the options for Teddy and Namgoon. They still have like Corki Nami, they still have Inara Lulu, which does have a tough time, but obviously scales very well. I imagine this is just a Yorick. It is. Now for D+, which lane are you picking first and what are you taking in that lane? Generally not a fun time in the Jace, unless you have one of the picks that do well into it. You could take something like the Ornn, if I'm being honest.
We have a little bit of a smirk here for Shiyu. Anivia.
I think Anivia is good into Cassiopeia and good at controlling the game in general. So
also could be top.
Could be flex top. We have seen it before. And when looking at the 80 carries, I feel like one of the things is that, you know, we saw the MF Nautilus be very successful. Nautilus not available.
Yeah.
Makes it pretty tricky when you're trying to go for a kill lane. Going with the idea of a Caitlyn, and we have to see like Caitlyn Lux be powerful, but even though we've seen teams do well with that, T1 recently had Caitlyn Lux into Ashe Seraphine. Ashe Seraphine's a really strong lane, and it's not a guaranteed winning matchup. It's a lot about execution. The reason T1 won the matchup is because they executed very well. If you're not on point with your skill shots, you can just get kind of DPS down.
Okay.
So
is this Cog mid?
It looks like
into
it might.
Cassio?
Yeah.
That like it. My brain was like, turn back the clock 15 years. didn't have to go that far, but
Showmaker definitely wanted to bring out new picks. So I remember there was some pretty heavy AP ratio buffs towards the end of last year, which is a while ago, but obviously we haven't seen Kog'Maw mid, so it's like what to make of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, especially if you're playing around the poke, I know that Comet got buffed for what is procted long distance or just Deathfire Touch. Both good options in terms of getting that damage down. AP Kog'Maw, because you're playing into Cassiopeia, who obviously likes you to go into her, to aggress into it. Poke is devastating against that. Cassiopeia really struggles against Poke, and it feels like their game plan is just, we're going to outrange you. We're not going to interact with you in a typical way. Now, there are some longer range tools on the side of Bro, like you have the Jace, you have the Caitlyn Lux, but in a Poke battle, it's going to be a tough time.
Yes, it absolutely will. As there's the zoom in onto, yes, mid Kog'Maw here for Showmaker, who's really, once again, trying to throw a wrench into the gears of his enemies. We'll see if it works out this time in game 2. Showmaker is bot. He's just saying hello. Nothing really much going to come from it except Smash taking a bunch of damage to the face. An AP Cog. I mean, we've seen Cassiopeia, you know, just try to outrange her, and then maybe that's the answer. You were just talking about how perhaps AP Cog wins the poke war. They don't really have a front line outside of Xin Zhao and a wall. And certainly a lot of threats. You know, there's like the Seraphine ult, you got a Nivea wall. There's a lot of ways to catch members on the side of Bro, and Bro don't have a huge front line either. So it's kind of like, almost feels like a solo queue game almost with these kind of compositions coming out.
So it is the comment from the Kog'Maw, and when you hit the E, obviously it slows as well, so it can set up the Comet quite well and is long ranged. That was one of the changes they did when they introduced Deathfire Touch as well. They made it so Comet, you don't get cooldown refund when you're hitting abilities anymore, but the further away from you the target is, the more damage Comet does. So Kog'Maw obviously able to proc that at heavy range and get a lot of benefit from it. Right now just farming with his W. And a bit with his Q.
Yeah. Early on, as AP Cog, you're just kind of farming. You want to get a lot of mana items. You want to pick up a tier. Could probably go into the Catalyst. To be honest, AP Cog builds in 2026. Not 100% sure, but he was always very mana-starved, AP Cog, so
yeah,
not be surprised to see something similar.
Presence of Mind and Cut Down as a secondary runes, which honestly has gained a lot of popularity.
Yeah, I know somebody who used to do that all the time, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Not a pro anymore. But, he's like kind of one of those guys in solo queue that the pros get ideas from.
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe that's where this idea came from.
But Cut Down just does kind of crazy damage. And Presence of Mind really helps with some of your mana issues. That's the thing with AP Cog. You can just endlessly spam your ultimate until you can't.
Yeah. As
the mana cost ramps up. And unlike Kassadin, you don't get additional damage from the subsequent hits.
Oh boy. The last player,
2005.
SK Telecom Faker.
2015. Wow.
I mean, it used to be a thing.
Yeah.
More oftentimes played, which is why my brain was like, turn back the clock. But yeah, 2015. Over 4,000 days ago.
It's a while. A little bit of a while.
A short while.
But yeah, I mean, the thing with... Because it's been a lot of changes for Kog'Maw since then. I mean, a lot. He's still roughly the same. But, because his ultimate does more damage based on targets missing health. And then the max increases at 40% health. But it used to be that it would only be increased if they're under a certain threshold. And they gave it like a gradual increase, which feels a lot better.
Yeah.
Obviously, the biggest spike is if they're under 40% HP. That's what you're going for.
One of the things about AP Cog as well is he's one of those champs that has just insane wave clear.
Yeah.
You just press ER and the wave's gone.
Yeah.
Basically, I mean, champs that can do that in this day and age, I feel like it was a lot more common. But to do it, you know, that cleanly and that swiftly.
This is literally why Baron is the way it is. Because you used to have a meta where it was like Ziggs against Gragas. And that was when Gragas used to go just full AP. And I don't mean like, we get AP Gragas top sometimes. Yeah. It's like AP Bruiser. I mean, no, like you're just going full max damage AP. And they would just wave clear endlessly. And, you know, we talked earlier about the 94-minute game.
Yeah.
It was stuff like that that led to a lot more games going in that direction. And then they brought like Baron and Elder in, which in the time, like it's been a long time since we've had Baron and Elder, but there was a long period without them as well. And it was just a struggle to finish out games. You also didn't have Dragon Souls.
Yep.
All these things kind of leading us to the point we're at now where the game does end in a timely manner.
Yeah. And it's going to take a little bit of time before Showmaker's, you know, one-shotting waves. But thing about it is you just outrange the Cassio, and sometimes you don't even have to interact with her. So a lot of Cassio's strength early to mid is how strong she can be in the lane. Yeah. You know, outside of everything else with the runes and, you know, what she offers in team fights and how she can stop champs that have a lot of mobility, etc. But she's very annoying to deal with in the lane.
Honestly, this is something I really liked about Showmaker, is that he's just always thinking of different picks he can bring out and the situations that they can be strong in. We saw a lot of this from him last year in the 2025 LCK Cup. But even though we had the Zyra, which didn't work that well, I just feel like it's really cool that we have a player who's constantly like, oh, what about this pick and this pick? Yeah. How would this matchup go? Or can I get an edge in this? Especially with Fearless, it's a huge asset.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many players, and I don't have anything against them. It's just kind of the way the LCK has worked for so long that are just like, you know what? He's playing Corki, give me a Zir. That's just kind of the way it's been for a long period of time. If it works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As now, Lucy going to spot him. Oh, no. I think he's still dead, though, as level 6 versus level 5. And Lucid already flashed, so that's going to be that. Gideon picks up first blood in the jungle.
Yeah, Gideon getting the level advantage and finding the enemy jungler there. We've also seen bot lane going heavily favored.
Oh boy. Yeah, they're being chopped down as Teddy with the flash auto! And he is back. He left in game 1 and he's like, no. I am back here for game 2.
Man, so clean. And I was talking about how this matchup isn't a guaranteed win for the Kate Lux. Execution's a big factor. We obviously saw FaZe Carrier have great success, but right now, the bot lane, Tangent Brion just absolutely popping off and able to find similar success. Here was just Gideon catching out Lucid, isolated. But they walk up with a heal, start getting the damage down. The binding comes in, and then the net and the Peacemaker angle is so good. Teddy just running like a bug.
Yeah. I mean, you saw Smash after the kill as well. Like, hands on his head, big smile on his face. Not because he's happy, just because he's like, man, what do I do? That's kind of the vibe he was giving off, and especially because he felt sheepish that he flashed after the auto was already out, but what can you do? If he was a little bit faster, he gets out of range with his own flash before Teddy's. It was not meant to be.
We did see casting being the egg of Shiwu earlier, but he had, and you don't actually see this very often, he had actually 0 mana. Like, the bar was just completely absent, so wasn't able to do much more to follow up. But so far, casting doing pretty well in this matchup. Having a decent time on the Jace.
Yeah.
I do think if we're getting into poke wars, the Jace being strong is a very relevant aspect. It's also, I feel like it's kind of awkward for the Cassiopeia and the Anivia who don't like playing into poke and are now in a game where they are going to be dealing with it.
Yeah. Kind of the awkward champs that are strong in their own right, but maybe not fitting in all too much, as the binding going to sail wide. If the binding hits, I think Lucid immediately has to Crescent Guard because, well, it's Kate Lux, and Lux, or rather, Kate was right there. So you're going to get trapped, you're going to get hit by everything. The final spark, it's not gonna feel good. So Lucid at least able to dodge that.
Showmaker holding up pretty good in terms of farm. Has that ghost as well. So just ghosting back to lane, doesn't have the TP. We'll miss out on a little bit of CS here.
He was like almost full health and full mana. Went back. I'm not really sure what he got, but he didn't complete any items.
Completed his Lost Chapter.
Okay. Well,
And boots as well. He completed his Ionians, and then used Ghost, but got the lower cooldown Ghost because he has Ionians.
Technology.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I wonder if you could use Ghost and then refund the Ionians as you're leaving the fountain. I've never tested that. I've never tried that.
I mean, it would
also
then add on to the cooldown.
But then you'd refund the boots, and then you'd have all that money, so you'd have to spend that. I think that would take too long.
Okay, apparently Yundo is on it. So Yundo's going to get in a practice tool. And he's going to test this.
Test out one of these
Make sure that he also tests, you know, if you can do it and smoothly also buy an item that's not the boots after you refund the boots. We're going to need to see some high APM numbers here, Yundo.
This is really min-maxing. This is like, you know, there used to be a thing where the more health you had, like the quicker you regened. I can't remember exactly how it worked. It's like people used to buy like mana crystals, and then the mana regenerate quicker, and then they'd refund them. Just completely min-maxing fountain time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, you're in a position where you have 0 mana, like the Jace earlier. So maybe if he had like 50 mana, it could have been different. Should have been maxed. Can't do that anymore, but trying to set up here for the second Drake.
A lot of opportunity to find picks for both these compositions. The Ashe Seraphine with the level 6s online, but Gideon already having drawn First Blood, no doubt looking for a second opportunity to. And Smash not having Flash for a little bit. These are the timings when you expect people to look for them to try and punish a Flashless AD carry. But Smash is playing very defensive. They'll Hawkshot the Dragon, and they're not opting into this fight. Despite how strong Xin Zhao Ashe Seraphine is, Lucid only now just finishes Sundered Sky. Smash had no Flash. There's no way you're contesting that under these conditions.
Yeah. And the timing is good for Bro. They have already a very nice lead in this game, and it's not just, you know, a Teddy effect or something like that. Also, it's Infernal Soul.
Oh man, this
time.
This is a huge soul to get for either of these compositions. Like when you're getting into Poke Wars, Infernal Soul is just disgusting. It syncs so well with champions who hit you occasionally from a long distance.
Yeah. Here comes Gideon once again. Another scanner from Lucid to spot him. This time he has more teammates. Some very high farm numbers for 4 of our members who are over 10 CS a minute. Gideon gets in, steals the red. Doesn't get a kill this time, but I don't think he cares. He's very far ahead of his opponent.
With only 2 kills, almost a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
It's just every lane, every person is winning.
Definitely not the position D+ want to be in. Showmaker approaching level 11. So, obviously I said before that his ultimate, even though it ramps in mana, like Castin, it doesn't get more damage as you ramp in mana, unlike Castin.
Yeah.
Something he has in common with Castin is his ultimate, as you put points in it, it's a massive spike. It increases the range each time. So, level 16 AP Cogmore is kind of disgusting, the range you can hit you from, but level 11 is a big boost.
Trying to go very aggressive here is Gideon, but he's not going to force the play. Comes in, clears a ward, backs away. Bot lane's winning for Bro. Top lane is also winning for Bro.
We did get confirmation from Yundo that the spell cooldown stayed the same after cancelling purchase, which is what I kind of expected, but
yeah,
it's a fact you can refund it, because sometimes, like, if you have a dot on someone and you buy an item, it doesn't let you refund it, even if, like, you're dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just lets you refund it. So if your APM is high enough, you could buy Ionians, Ghost, and then... Or even Teleport, actually. You could do it with Teleport.
Oh, ooh, nice flash here from Casting. That hits him. You gotta expect he is dead.
Yeah, like, you could buy Ionians, start TPing, refund them, buy something else, and then have the reduced cooldown.
That seems good. I feel like
that's easier than Ghost, because Ghost, you have to be running out of the fountain. And if you're ghosting and not running out of the fountain as you're buying stuff, you're losing time. And then what was the point? But for
like
TP...
this is tech that people must do, but I guess it doesn't come up every single time.
I guarantee there is people out there who do this like every single time. And they're like, you guys didn't know this? I'm sorry, I'm a heathen.
League of Legends just has a lot of little things.
Yeah.
Even if you cast it for so many years, there's going to be things you don't know.
Or just don't think about as well.
Yeah.
And then you have the people who just will spend 17 hours in practice tool thinking through all these things. And you know what? They're the GOATs. So shout out to those people.
They do the real work. So the rest of us can enjoy the cool mechanics. This game is definitely slowed down. I mean, as you mentioned, 2-0, 2 kills, 3,000 gold. And for D plus Kia, I mean, you're waiting on your Kog'Maw. You don't really have pressure. You have pick potential in bot, but you can't use it because you're behind. And now the laning phase is essentially done. They're trying to come up here and challenge at the Rift Herald, actually, which will be, for now, respected by Bro. Gideon is taking a little bit of damage. We do have a TP coming in here from Roamer. Looks like they do want to go for the 5v5. Bit of damage into Shield. As this one is going to be close. Gideon not able to get it. He goes very deep for the kill and a smash. He was just being hounded by everyone. As he will go down. This is going to be the first pick here for Bro. Namgoon getting pretty low himself, but he's just going to flash away and survive. Down to the egg is Shu, but he will eventually go down as well. And that kill goes over to Teddy. So 2 kills plus. We saw the Rift Herald did go over to D plus Kia, but that's all they got.
So hard to deal with the Vi as this Ashe. They just jumped, smashed, took him out of the fight immediately. Kog'Maw is not really fully online at this point, and it felt like Bro, who already had a significant gold lead, just kind of ran them over from there. Okay, so we got confirmation. The TP cooldown starts going down after arriving to the teleport point, so the Ionians makes no difference.
Yeah. So just do it with Ghost.
Yeah.
All right, we got Lucid going in. He's got that Crescent Guard. A lot of value there, just trying to keep them around as he is able to sustain, as this is the flanking Anivia, though, so doesn't do a whole lot. But some damage into casting and Gideon, and she was able to get the shield. Showmaker now getting dove by Roamer, and he's going to have to flash out of this one. Unfortunate for him.
Roamer feels like he's really starting to take this game into his own hands. A big threat at this point. Dragon being sent up for, and Bro get this, it's pretty massive. D plus throw down the Combat Herald, which was some of their spoils they got from the last fight. Smash already so low! But they get the Dragon.
Yeah.
That's a win. They just need to get out.
Getting hit by a stun, I think.
Oh, no.
There's going to be the binding on a career, but no follow-up is there. The trap's not going to connect. Another stun, this time on a Gideon once again. Namgoon in a lot of trouble, doesn't have any mana, goes down. And now casting in the middle of nowhere, just trying to get away from the team. And he will also be going down. This time, a shutdown going over to Lucid.
Mash has ult, by the way.
Awkward spot here. Oh, he tried to flash the arrow and just dies instead. Oh, man.
You know, there's an interesting thing with the Ashe arrow hitbox. It's really weird, but the hitbox is like towards the tail end of the arrow. So you might think like the Ashe arrow is already inside you, and then flash, and you just connect with the back end of the arrow, and it hits you. It's really weird. It's a weird hitbox. Yeah. So I think deceptive. I think at the moment, hard to react to in that situation, but I think the hitbox may be a factor there. We see in this situation, they just beeline straight for smash. What can you do?
Die.
Well, yeah, that is what he did. And then they do get the Herald, but they kind of have to give up Shu here, who just can't really do anything in the middle of 3 people as an Anivia. But then, in this play, they get the Dragon, and Hanji and Brion don't line up those traps, unfortunately. Teddy doesn't get it down in time on a career. Amgun's basically out of mana. Gideon's super low. They just start chasing down the kills, and they're right now on the wrong side of the map, so Showmaker comes in to cut them off. Misses some skill shots, sure, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I will see the arrow moment again here. He just kind of flashed straight into it, to be fair. I don't think that
he went a little early.
I don't think that was a hitbox factor.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. He was so close to him.
Yeah.
So how are you gonna...
Flashing to the side would be the best thing.
Yeah.
But
maybe he like wanted to flash in range of a net.
Maybe.
something, like get in range, net him, headshot, maybe
It was a difficult situation.
get him down.
Speaking of difficult situations.
Yeah, well, see you later. Get it?
No, you'll have to explain it to me.
Oh, it's because see you kind of sounds like see you.
Oh.
So it's like see
like the
you later.
convenience store?
Yes.
Okay,
There is one of those in Korea.
there is. Malignant's picked up Showmaker. Obviously, with the ultimate, you can proc that very frequently, getting the burn down. Level 13 right now, closing in on level 14. I just want to see the level 16, because that's when it kind of gets pretty crazy. There's a lot of AP Cogmore in ARAMs, in ARAM Mayhem, so a lot of AP Cogmores there, just kind of running rampant. Showmaker trying to ramp up to that point.
Yeah. They were gated from the Rift until today.
Yeah.
Showmaker's bringing it back.
I mean, I don't think AP Cogmore is specifically like ARAM tech, but it is interesting when we get stuff bleeding over. Like the Poke Ash build we had long ago was originally an ARAM build.
Yeah.
That came into Summoner's Rift.
All right, they're going to go in onto Lucid, but that is a Xinjiao. Very difficult to do, and Gideon just dies. So kind of confusing there. Now Roamer, the follow-up, just kind of baited into that one by the team. And Steeplesky are like, okay, I guess we'll take 2 free kills.
Showmaker's fishing for some more poke here, but they might just move over onto this Baron. Okay, there is still the poke elements of Hanj and Brion alive. And they are getting some damage down on the Showmaker. Casting was hunting from there. This is a scary Baron to take with a Snow Smite, so you just want to rush it and get the Smite secure. She was there to ward them away.
Yeah. He's doing a great job of that. Even if he does die, I mean, it's not really the end of the world. Trying to burst it down as Namgung maybe, but they don't quite have the damage.
Okay, I mean, to be fair, smiting late is always the correct move.
Yeah.
When there's no other smite other than your own. Because if you try and do it exactly at like 1400, you're trolling. So Lucid left it a little late there, but that is the correct move because no one on the enemy team is doing like 1,000 damage in one hit.
Showmaker has Magi's with 6 stacks.
Okay, well...
This was confusing.
Yeah, ulting onto the Zinzao, who's just... He's going to press ult, and then Roma gets clipped by the Seraphine ult into the Ash Arrow. Not the best setup. We do see the team setting up for Dragon now. And Showmaker is starting to spam this poke. Good Shock Blast in return, does a decent amount of damage though.
Yeah, I feel like Showmaker hasn't really been sticking that poke all so well. See you here on the right side.
Here?
See you later.
You know, I think she was having some struggles with the Anivia.
Yeah.
It's fearless, so he can't play it in the next game if Bro win, but I imagine if it wasn't, he still wouldn't.
It feels like sometimes he's really struggled with like exactly when to come in on a flank. And he he's like always flanking.
You don't need a flank on Anivia. That's
flanking on Forest, flanking on Anivia.
You don't have to do that.
You don't need
the arrow?
Oh, the flash away from Namgung means it's going to hit Roamer, and he's taking so much damage. If Showmaker's level 16 there...
Yeah, he's just dead.
At least you get the flash.
No, I think... Yeah, true.
At the very least. I mean, maybe if you have the damage to burst him down while he's stunned. And just like that. I mean, they didn't even have to really interact with him. Just throw in an arrow, throw in some ults from the Cogmore, and...
I mean, the arrow setup for the poke is so devastating. Even with the fact they just lost their Anivia, D+ still win the poke war and force them away. That being said, Hanj and Brion do have that third dragon, one away from Infernal Soul. That will certainly help them out with what they're trying to achieve here, which is land the poke. One of the problems as well is that Namgun, even though the Lux binding is pretty long ranged, it's not like Ash Arrow or Cogmore ult range sort of thing. It's also quite slow. So Namgun has to get a little close to land that, and then Teddy has to be in range to trap, and I think that's just a difficult thing to do. The Shock Blast obviously is huge range, so not a major concern with that. But it's definitely a bit of a delicate position for Hanj and Brion now, despite the gold lead, despite the dragon lead. Some struggles if D+ can get set up and maybe have like an Anivia wall blocking the enemy team off, as in like blocking them from getting to the backline, not flanking with it. Potentially. You know, it's a crazy theory.
Yeah. Have yet to really see that tech used. Let's see if Shiu can figure it out. All you got to do is just stick with the team. Use all of your zone control that you have on this pick. And that can be your job. You don't even necessarily need to do damage. It's probably not going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Down 2.2k 1,000 gold on the Jace.
Yeah. Bit of a significant gap. Casting is very strong. I do feel like Jace, Shock Blast, they had that nerf a while ago, and they just don't hit like they used to. And then we used to have them like when you were ahead of the curve, they would just do like 70% of someone's HP. Not quite at that point.
Yeah.
He's picked up the Serpent's Fang. There's obviously a moderate amount of healing on the other side, but doesn't have the percentage pen yet. Like that Shock Blast is, you expect more.
Yeah.
Pretty good poke coming out from the Kate Lux bot lane with the ultimates.
It's really just poke wars at a certain point.
Yeah, Showmaker's so close to level 16. We need to see this.
Yeah.
Important.
And when you have poke versus poke like this, you know, outside of Gideon, you know, just going insanely deep on a Vi angle, sometimes fights are just won by whoever's poke landed. And we might have that around an objective where it's like, oh, well, we got poked out, so we didn't land ours, so I guess they're just going to get Infernal Soul. Could happen.
There is obviously the sustain on D+ that helps him out. Ooh, the movement speed. Roma gets him out. Tricky situation.
Are they going to give Showmaker the camp? Doesn't look like it. There's a wave coming in. I think he might get it on that wave, or maybe the next one. Oh, he's so close. I think he should have taken the Krugs. But
he wants something. Look, he's walking about. He's like, I need XP. Where am I getting it, guys? I think it's fine. You can just recall, you can go mid and leech some XP there. He is very close to having it.
Yeah.
No, he's hanging around top for another wave. Level 16. There's a lot of champions at level 16 is like that major, like Ryze, Kayle, Kassadin. But AP Cogmore 2 is a very significant spike.
Yeah, not to mention that in terms of items with the Magi's, if they win one more team fight, it's going to be in a position where it's very, it's really just insane amounts of damage that is coming out from the AP Cog.
Yeah, there is.
It's going to feel unfair.
The Infernal Soul on the cards, which is a big factor with these long-range damage threats. D+ definitely don't want to give that one over for free. But it's right now Hanj and Brion who have control of the area. You see quite condensed vision around the blue buff of D+, into the river. D+ do have a lot of vision tools with the Cogmore ultimate and with the Hawk Shot. You see Showmaker, the range now. I'm going to just have to sprint away from that. He's letting the mana cost reset and then fishing some more. Trap line set up.
Oh boy, Roamer, he's in a rough spot. He's going to flash at the very end of that. Doesn't take a whole lot of damage, so it's okay. But D+ also able to push that mid wave. Going to feel pretty good about that. Somebody's got to step on a trap here or just scoot around it.
I mean, look at the range of that Cogma ult now. It's so far. He's trying to balance the cast so his mana doesn't get depleted really quickly.
Yeah.
Trying to let it reset before he's throwing some more. It does build up really rapidly. He doesn't have a blue buff.
I'm just kind of sitting here with a couple of lines drawn, imaginary lines drawn right through the middle, and nobody's crossing it just yet. And here comes some of that damage. It's not really sticking just yet. A bit onto Namgung. Malignant's ticking as well. Namgung gonna get hit by the stun. On top of it, comes down to a smite, and it goes to Gideon. And that's all you had to do, just win the smite fight. Here comes DK, though, running at the Baron.
With how these setups are going, the Infernal Soul is just such a massive boost. For them picking that up, pretty humongous. And going to make that poke even more devastating. I feel like D+ was starting to get the edge in the poke wars, but now that Shock Blast maybe doing pre-nerf Jace damages. The Lux ult as well. I mean, the thing is, Namgun just doesn't have that much damage in his items, but now the Infernal Soul is just offering that free damage effectively. And interestingly, Teddy's gone for the Bloodthirster fourth, which makes sense given how these scenarios are going. There's not as much sustain on the side of Han Jin-Brion. The Seraphine definitely helping out to mitigate some of the poke from the other side.
Yeah. So he's got to build his own sustain. Does mean that he won't get something like an LDR or Mortal Reminder, but not a lot of tanky targets on the opposite side. Biggest one being Lucid with his GA and just being Xin Zhao. But maybe you're not really going to be doing much damage to him anyway, as you don't really want to get melee range as a Caitlyn into that champion. So yeah, we're not having these big flashy engage plays because we just don't have those kind of compositions, especially because both sides really drafted for this. And so it's definitely a thinking man's game at this point.
I love how it is, but there's also like a Vi in the mix who's just would love nothing better than to jump on that Kog'Maw and squish him like a bug.
Hansen's doing a good job pressuring this bot lane.
I mean, he's really far ahead in this matchup. Been picking up a ton of farm. Oh, the Kog'Maw.
Gonna miss that, though, as now TPs are coming in, and Roamer's like, uh-oh. Rough spot for him now, as he might get hit by everything. Look at those ults just raining down. Lucid in an awkward spot here, but he's able to hop over to Roamer with that flash. And that's going to be the kill onto the bro mid laner. Can they get anything off of the back of that, though?
Roamer thought he had caught Showmaker, but ends up getting caught out himself. Unable to disengage from the situation. Oh no. Ow.
Caitlyn poke.
Yeah. That hurts. Just a little bit. Chiwu's not been having a fun time this game, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Hasn't been ideal circumstances for him to hop off.
He had that one wall onto Roamer.
Yeah.
He had like some decent walls. It's just like, it's kind of all he's doing.
Vi is... He was in a very deep spot, but he's going to recall now. Didn't find the angle. I was looking at the minimap, and I think Smash just got hit by a shock blast and lost a ton of HP. Roma honestly doing a decent job of dodging these ults, but ends up being an exit for Lucid. Lucid managing to avoid the petrifying gaze there, but bro just starting up the Baron.
Yeah.
And the Infernal Soul damage definitely helped them just burn through this so quickly. Lucid's looking though.
Lucid's going in. He's not going to get it. Goes to Cassiopeia. Roamer going to pick that one up. Lucid in the Crescent Guard nearly takes out Gideon. Goes down to the GA. Showmaker's really trying his best, but nothing quite going to stick.
Showmaker just rained down so much damage in that situation, but he didn't get a kill. Wouldn't have been a kill anyway, just a GA, but Lucid tries to go for the steal. Ends up being unsuccessful, and now down a jungler. Bro can start to push up. This is a very hard team, D+, to push waves into without Baron. So now that they have it, they want to get as much value as possible. Even with Baron, it's looking pretty tricky.
Yeah. But they are going to get it at the end of the day.
Teddy takes some tower hits, but has the Bloodthirster to heal up. You see Smash trying to clear mid, does dodge that shock blast, fortunately.
They've left Showmaker by himself to clear the wave in top lane. Understandable. I mean, with a AP Kog'Maw and a Nivea,
yeah,
it's pretty difficult, even with Baron. But they're not going to stick around for now. They want to get a reset first.
It's a significant Baron power play, but their focus is going to move to the other side of the map for Elder Dragon. Now here, Lucid gets in, ends up somehow being the Cassiopeia who secures it. And then look at Showmaker just spamming ults down, and Gideon has to dash out of it and then dodge all of these. Or he would have just gone to his GA, which wouldn't have been the end of the world, but wouldn't have felt great. Now though, Elder in a minute, and because Han Jin-Brion have the Baron, they can kind of push up, force D+ away. As I said before, there's a lot of tools for vision from D+. The Kog'Maw ult can be used to check brushes, the Hawk Shot, a big tool as well. But you're so scared of face checking into this Vi.
Yeah. That's DK's engage right there, by the way. Rocket Belt and Nivea Wall.
That's the tech.
I mean, it can definitely get some good targets, some good flashes out of them. And pushing up as a team, RDK, they're going to get the flash out of casting here. It's exactly what they did for the Infernal Soul Drake, which they did not get.
Oh man, that shock blast being dodged. There's so many big damage threats. You see, look, Roma's actually looped round. He's kind of behind them.
Yeah, caught the wave,
Yeah.
I guess.
This is so precarious.
Flanking Cassiopeia.
Castle's just TPing to the base.
Okay. I mean, he's certainly going to get the inhibitor.
He has Baron buff. He can maybe get more if they don't respond. Who's going to respond?
Yeah, like, who's going back, guys?
She was trying to recall, but they can stop him. Guys, your turret, the next turret.
She's just going to TP.
Okay.
And that's going to save the game. It doesn't feel good.
That damage.
Yeah, the damage is insane. Career extremely low. Now you see, bro, it's like walking a tightrope this entire game. It's really insane. The trap line very important here for Teddy as well.
This feels like an ARAM, not just because it's in mid lane, but because this is how ARAMs go, and there's tons of poke on both sides. And the melee champions you're just dodging, just playing Dance Dance Revolution, waiting for your moment to do something. It hasn't come yet. Shiwu on the flank.
Oh, he kind of came out of nowhere here. Romer trying to turn onto him, flashes over, and now the engage comes in. They found Showmaker, and Gideon finally squishes that Kog'Maw. And now Lucid in a bunch of trouble here as Siu as well goes down. And that might just be it. Big Seraphine just to try to hold on to this game, but I think Casting not going to let that continue. Smash here on the Ashe, not able to do a whole lot. Lucid, the last one to go down, as Teddy will snipe him, and he will have a game number 3 in this series.
That passage of play was so tense as both sides were looking for poke, but eventually Gideon found his angle and just explodes the Kog'Maw and ends the game like that. We will be good. But yeah, you can kind of see the champions who are engaging in the poke, and the champions who weren't so much. Lucid with only 8.7k damage was kind of just standing there a lot of the time. But a tense game. But Hanj and Brion, this series is must win for them.
지르자 나만 온 거야.
볼게. 이번에 볼게. 야, 짜부터.
들어가볼게. 네. 다시
아니야, 빨리.
다시 나가서 포킹.
아,
애니비 해봐줘. 애니비 아니면.
야, 코그마 툭 치면 안 돼.
야, 코그마 터뜨리면 안 돼.
볼게. 야, 코그마 높여.
형 앞에 봐줄게.
잡았어.
천천히 보자.
천천히.
나 귀.
가자, 맞을게.
자, 애니비.
애니비야.
더 올 수 있어.
끝내자. 끝났어.
야, 둘 다 높을. 나 집 빼볼게. 내가 집 빼.
와, 끝났어.
가. 실례. 내가 먹었어. 왔어?
왔어? 미안하다, 얘들아. 날짜.
나이스.